All right. How are you finding the big wall list?
So I've only been able to play once, and it was a complete one-sided stomp. So one good. I've only gotten one game in, and it wasn't a good benchmark.
I also have gotten one game in, and it was not great for me. um,
Yeah, got a list that was very interesting.
yes, that's what happens when you play against a three warp lightning cannon Skaven list. It was
That list was so great.
I basically tabled him. I tabled George, but George those lightning cannons just went to town in the last
Lightning
couple.
cannons, doom wheels,
I mean,
all the
he did
works.
24 mortals by rolling once on those cannons. It was nuts. It was nuts. So I mean, what can you do, right? Like, what are you gonna do about that? I do have a more meme big wild list that I want to try.
Oh,
We'll see. We'll just say it has to do with Kragnos, as well as a potential incarnate.
oh gosh. Oh no, you're just gonna throw something and it's just gonna stick.
Yep. It's not great, but you know, I want to try it. I'm gonna give it a shot, just see what happens. It'll be fun. I'm gonna call the list. No one likes me. Something like that. Something to that. Something.
Yeah, you're just
Um,
slingshotting an incarnate out.
yeah.
I wouldn't
The
like you either.
the other thing that is new is we have a new Discord. So in fact, I'll just go and post that in the chat for anyone that wants to join. I'll also post it in the YouTube links as well. But
Yeah, it's been fun. We've been talking about dogs and cats. We had a
yes,
large number of MCP ideas going through. Learning more every day about NCP, but no one's bothered to teach me yet.
I'm working on it. You know
Uh,
what? We need to get. You know what? I blame Justin.
you know what? I'll blame Justin too,
There we
just
go.
because he's not here and he can't defend himself.
Exactly.
So
Um,
gosh darn it, Justin.
but yeah, it's fun. It's been a lot of fun. We're getting that going. I guess the next thing to talk about is GT coming
We're
up.
slowly getting closer.
About a month, little more than a month away. Actually, just about a month. Just about a
We're
month out.
just about a month and like a few days.
Yep. It's filling up, so we got some good people. A lot of people from California. It looks like, so it's cool.
Oh, the California crowd
Yep.
came in. Awesome.
So yeah, so we're getting some good feedback there. If you haven't signed up, go sign up now. If you have any questions, feel free to use that Discord for any questions. And yeah, that's it. So we will go into the art of the week. This guy is crazy. um, some of the most detailed painting I've ever seen. It's insane. I don't know how this guy does it. I mean, Jose is
I'm loving
definitely
that sword.
Jose is definitely one that competes. I think he does commission work too, or maybe not. Maybe he just competes. But I mean, these paint jobs are like
Gorgeous.
like
Amazing.
so detailed. Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, he might be one of my favorite painters. Like once I saw his work, like I was like
The detail work with
there's
transitions.
and the lighting and it's just it's pretty fantastic. So if you haven't checked him out, definitely go check out his Instagram. He's definitely overseas. I can't remember where he's from, but just some amazing work. So just it makes me sad because I just can't do that. So yeah, good stuff there. All right, so let's go into the topic tonight. We're just gonna do a early look at what the state of the play is for the new GHB. Now, obviously, this is early on, right? So there's not a whole lot of data yet. Um, and that being said, the last time I did this, I used oh my gosh, I used Honest Wargamer's data, but
Hmm.
he hasn't even got enough data to use, so all of my slides kind of went out the window. So I'm using Wohammers, so definitely go check out his site. But um, I'm using his data, and again, I'm not gonna have all of the information that I did the last time I did this, but um, we should be able to make some good.
It's still pretty early on with
Yeah,
everything, so there's a lot of like potential. There's wiggle room among everything.
correct. You should start to get a good idea of what's going on, though. I don't think we've gotten to a point where um, the meta has turned into a non-magic meta. I think we're still playing in that magic meta. People are still trying to
It's
make it work.
definitely still a magic meta right now.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
a few out there that are like it's good anti magic, and so they're getting a little bit of a boost. But right now, it's mostly magic.
Um, so some other things. The last time I did this, I only did the U.S. This time we're doing worldwide. There's about 21 GTs in this list, so it's still some good data. You can still get some idea. And again, obviously, use this subjectively, right? Because, uh, depending on where you get the stats and how detailed they are, right? It's not a definite on these stats, right? So it's an overall representation of uh, what's going on in the meta right now.
Yeah, this should just give you an idea of
Correct.
what to expect and what you might see out there.
Yep. So let's get into what the meta representation is. Who's playing the most of what? I said any surprises here? I don't think there are.
See, the
um,
top is what
Soul
Soul
Blight,
Blight, Osiarchs, and then
Blades of
Blades of
Corn,
Corn.
Seraphon, Stormcast. Pretty.
Man, just I think Blades of Corn is the only one that got higher than before.
Yeah, yeah. Blades of Corn. I think they're strong right now. They've got a good anti-magic meta. The least played is Bone Splitters. Not surprising.
It's
They
it's
just don't
so
have any
it's hard.
tools. They don't have any tools right
It's
now.
hard to build an army with them because
Yeah,
you need a lot of models,
yeah.
and they're all pretty old models too.
Agreed. Cruel Boys is the next one up. However, I think that might start going up a little higher because they
I
do have some.
definitely see that going up higher.
Yes. Now, I don't think they're necessarily super good right now, but they do have some good tools. Gobsprak is probably one of the best unique
Yeah,
heroes in the game right now. Like, that dude is
they're
insane.
better than where they were.
Yes, correct. Right, right. And then the third one from the least played is City of Sigmar, but that's obviously to be expected with
Yeah,
the.
no one wants to play a faction they know is going to die.
Correct. And we get that book relatively soon. It's pretty much all out there now. So,
Yeah,
what else is interesting in here?
Night Hunt's really low, and then Daughters of Cain is really low
I
because they
also
just don't have that much support with magic at all.
I think Skaven's a little higher than I expected it to be. That one's a little bit of a surprise to me.
Um, it's because they have a lot of versatility. Like I expect them to always be in the middle.
Okay.
Like they're not amazing like they're not absolutely amazing at everything, but like they're not absolutely horrible at anything.
Right. How OBR has gone from the bottom to the top. Not just in win percentage, but just meta representation. There was no one using it.
Hmm.
So it's cool to
It's
see
because
that.
one, they're a very thematic army.
They are.
They're fun to play if you. They're fun to play if you can remember the rules.
Yes.
Uh,
Well, luckily you don't have very many war scrolls to remember because you can only get so many units in.
yeah. But some of their stuff is just really good.
Yep. Yep. All right, so let's go into the next one, which is just the overall faction win rates. I know this is kind of small, so I apologize. You'll have to kind of blow it up a little bit, but
Tell me what's number one.
so we'll go through these a little bit. Let's start from the bottom,
Okay.
and we'll work our way up. The pale green is noted as margin of error, but realistically, we're looking at the percentages, right? So So starting at the bottom, the very bottom, which is this one's surprising to me, is Iron Jaws. They are at the very bottom.
Yeah, because they have almost no magic game whatsoever.
They don't, but they still have Alpha Strike. I mean,
Yeah, but now in the game, there's a lot of things that can hurt Alpha Strike, as well as other things that Alpha Strike as well. And
40%,
another
40%
thing
win rate
is
is real bad.
Iron Jaws are usually like a 2-drop Alpha Strike if they're trying to do Alpha Strike, because the Maw Crusher is a big hero, and you can't put 2 big heroes in a 1-drop.
Well, the other thing that hurts them as well is, and I didn't realize this till we talked about it, but I don't play a whole lot of orcs, so forgive me, but you can't ally in anything into Iron Jaws. So even if you wanted to take Gobsprak or something like that, you'd have to go Big Wah. So that also does not benefit them.
Yeah, you
as
can
well.
only bring in Gits, and like Gits are good, but almost only
You
good
can't
like in
even.
their own faction.
Can you? Can you take a Regiment of Renown? Can you take the Bolt Boys or no?
In Iron Jaws, yes.
Okay, I wasn't sure if it was Orcs or Iron Jaws.
You cannot take the Cruel Boys one in a Cruel Boy army.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, all right, that's the key word you need to remember. Okay, so at least they have that going for them, I guess. But yeah, that's unfortunate. Next out of 40% is Skaven.
40%.
40%. So while they're being played in the middle of the pack, people are playing them. In this scenario, 22 people, right? They are 40% win rate.
They lost their big hitter with the
Thankful.
skateboard.
Yep, thankful on the skateboard. Yep.
And that hurt a lot of the usual play. Pretty much everyone I saw that was doing competitive Skaven was always doing Thankful.
Well, and you got to think too. Even their casters, they're getting double hurt now. Because if you get a miscast plus, you have a bunch of warp, warp tokens.
Warp tokens.
Yeah, they get hurt twice. You can really neuter your army just by playing it. So I'm not sure why. I mean, 40%'s low though. I didn't expect it to be that low.
I think what it is that they are not. Skaven players are used to pretty much the thankful way of playing, and now you need to completely change away from that. Because we saw with you fighting, they still have a lot of really good utility. It's just not many people played the lightning cannons. Not many people play the doom wheels.
Yeah, I think they need to be picked apart and rebuilt kind of from the ground up to kind of succeed in this new GHB.
Yes, that's exactly what I think. Because now the old way was thankful as well as teleporting the giant rat, and now it's really easy to counter that teleport. And
yeah, that's true. That's true.
And thankful can't get up close anymore.
A lot of their null holes given +1 doesn't really matter anymore.
I think it gives a punch. You can get thankful to a +4.
No, it does. But with having primal dice, it's
if anything, I think it's like that makes it better. It's just you have these null holes, and now they get pluses. They have so many different casters they could put into things.
I guess you're not wrong. We'll have to see how the meta shifts for Skaven. I don't. They've got to be better than 40%. I just don't think people have figured it out yet.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's exactly what's going on.
The next one's really surprising to me.
What's that?
Stormcast Eternals at 41%.
They have like no magic play.
But they've got so many. They got so many models, so many ways they can play against things.
The more I play against Stormcast, especially right now, I really just think they just need a big rework. Like they just need something.
Their stuff expensive.
Their death explosions do nothing. Like that's their main mechanic is that they explode on death. Yeah. But
and
that means absolutely
people
nothing.
That do it better now.
Exactly. They lost their thing that makes them. They lost the thing that makes them good. They never really had any good command traits or anything like that. Like even their go-to one was like the artifact for the mirror shield, and now that's just everybody has that.
I wonder if we're gonna see more dragon spam
That's the only
because
thing I can think of that makes them good right now.
yeah, because they have a 4 spell ignore on that. Like that would help. I don't know. I don't know. We're gonna have to see how Stormcast comes out because they're in a rough spot right now.
They, surprisingly enough, they need like another unit or two to be able to help support their own units
Yeah.
because they have very little in-book support.
That being said, too, we know there's some regiments of renown out there. So, the new Questor teleporty dudes,
Hmm.
the Soulsworn or whatever they're called, those are also pretty good. I think that number will go up. We'll just see how far it goes up. I think they're. I do agree. I think they need a rework or at least maybe some significant point decreases. I don't know. I don't
But
know.
which it's funny, like, all right, so Stormcast came out the same time as the Auric War clans, and we see Ironjaw's way at the bottom.
Uh,
Where's Bone Splitters and Cruel Boys on this?
well, we'll get there. They're not.
Yeah, they're
Now,
actually
Bone
pretty good right
Splitters,
now.
we have to take kind of a hesitation with because there's only 3 people that played, right?
Oh,
Out of all the 21 GTs they had, there's only 3 people that played Bone Splitters, so you got to take it with a grain of salt. But
yeah,
I mean,
that's fair.
Stormcast Eternals, that's 48 players, right? So
Yeah,
like that's a good representation. They're just at the bottom.
and even with like top players rising it and bottom players lowering it,
Yep.
like you should still be more in the middle, but
Yep.
that's so low.
Cities of Sigmar is the next one at 10 players, but it's 42%. But again, we don't really need to talk about them. Their book's going to come out. It's going to completely change how they play. They've already gotten
Yeah.
some crazy buffs and reworks in the army.
Hmm.
It is going to be very interesting to see how they
It's a completely different play for them.
completely different. uh, I don't know if I'm too happy about some of those war scrolls, but we'll
I
see.
think some of the things are probably going to get changed in some ways, but
At least point increases. We'll see. All right, so then next is another shocker for me at the bottom. At 43%, we've got Sylvaneth.
I could see it.
Now, don't get me wrong. I think Sylvaneth is in the bottom bracket, but not 43%. I just still think they've got so many
So
movement shenanigans.
one, they got nerfed with the new ruling of unmodified dice.
I know, yep.
That hurt them
Yep.
quite a bit,
Yep.
as well as their main thing, like their main combo that they relied on for a long time, was to have to get their endless spell out,
So they
as
could
well
charge.
as for the possible +3 to charge,
Yep.
as well as the battle mage giving them another +2 to charge.
Oh, yep.
So that's 2 spells that are required for them to get a main part of their current strategy out, and now it's so easy to counter it.
They did get one notable buff, though. You can
Yeah.
now run the Kurnoth in a single line now. You don't have to,
Yes, that is true.
which matters. But yeah, they are struggling. That unmodified hurt
And
quite a
it's
bit.
going to hurt them even more once the new Cities of Sigmar book comes out.
Yeah, no more Battlesmith
No more +2 charge battle mage.
or Battle Mage. That's what it is. Yep. So rough there.
So I could see them staying that percentage,
That's unfortunate.
maybe even lower.
That's unfortunate. Next up with 33 players at 44%, so we're almost in the green here.
All right.
Slaves to Darkness.
You know, it's me looking at it from I fought Slaves to Darkness. I see them as like a really scary list, but if you know how to fight them, it's just they're very slow, or if they're not very slow, they're very big one-trick ponies.
They are. A good example is me playing Colt a couple weeks ago when he's taken the what is the 12 Vanguard
Yep,
list and
2
just,
packs of 6 Vanguard.
yep, and just throwing them in, and then he's got 10 knights, so they're fast and they get into you. But if you're able to get rid of those, they're
You
done.
win.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just game over. So yeah, agreed. It's still pretty shocking to me that Slaves to Darkness is still low though.
Like on paper,
Chaos
they're so scary.
Chaos Warriors, they're just so good. One of the most efficient models in the game.
They have the spell casting, like you can roll 3 dice for spell casting.
Yeah.
Like on paper, they're horrifyingly good.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they're just. Do you think they're too expensive? Like, what would fix Slaves to Darkness?
Like I don't want to say that they're too expensive because they
They don't
there's
seem like they
similar
are.
things in the game. There's similar things in the game that like are more points than them.
Mm-hmm.
What I think it is to a certain also to a certain extent is that people are only playing like the ever chosen faction, and once you start leaving that, I think there's a lot of good like possibilities out there because I
Like
think people are just
Cabalists or
playing
something.
like like the Cabalists sub faction is so good. It's so amazing, especially now.
Yeah.
You can make some horrifying things go on with the Cabalists.
Yeah, agreed. I think they just need to switch it up. I think people have just learned how to play against them.
Yeah, I think it's the same problem that Skaven's having.
It's so funny that we're talking about some of these though, because like, just a month ago, these were not bad. Like Slaves to Darkness was never 44% range.
Yeah,
It's just
like
crazy.
I don't know. I don't know how they got that in such a bad position.
There's also a lot of representation there too. So I don't know. Maybe they're just. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe people like to use like Archeon and stuff, and they just like to play the
Yeah.
stuff they like, and that's not helping the overall.
Yeah, especially with stuff like the Blizzard going on.
Yeah.
Blizzard can just annihilate Archaon if you're lucky, or at least bring him down.
James, I agree. We'll get there. I agree to a point, but there's still some things that shut off the Ancient pretty well too, though. So next up, the one that everyone was worried about for the longest time, that now have kind of slipped in the shadows.
Okay.
47 players with this, by the way, at a 47% is Gloomspite Gets.
Gloomspite gets.
And I think people
okay.
people just have learned how to play against them. I think people know lots of battle shock immunity type stuff, that type of thing. Like I just feel like people know how to play against Gloomspite now. Because most of the winning lists are your standard squig herd, spam, right?
It's I think I started saying it right from the beginning of why I wasn't afraid of them. You make one good screen and you survive one turn, you can get rid of them.
Yep. So I'm glad that they're down because hopefully they don't get nerfed anymore. Those are my babies. All right, so next up with 15 players at 47% again, Fire Slayers, which is I think that's right about where they're where I can see them.
Yeah, they don't have any spellcasters, but they have ways to be able to counter spellcasting.
I think that
Pretty
new
effectively.
Grimhold Exile or whatever his name is, I can't remember his name. The new regiment's right now, dude.
Yeah.
I think as we see more of that, I think they might increase a little bit more.
Yeah, I can see it increasing a little bit, just because it allows just a slight bit of alpha strikes.
Yeah. It's notable too because I may or may not be buying Jed's Fire Slayers.
I know, I've noticed.
So we'll see. He's got. I'm gonna have like. I think I've got. I think he has 3 magma drops. That means I'm gonna have. I think I have 2 or 3, so I have 6 mag. Wasn't there like a sub faction you take which is like Monster Mash?
Yes, you can make them battle line.
I almost want to do it just because it'd be fun. Yeah. Well, so James again, right? When you don't have magic, right? That's what's gonna happen with this. Every single meta, we go from the mechanic of the meta early season, and then everyone figures it out, and then it's just non-mechanic meta. So it'll end up becoming a non-magic meta at some point. Okay, next up, Ideneth Deepkin, 17 players at 48%. This is pretty accurate to me.
Ideneth is just very good at being the nothing really affects me. I will always play as I want to play.
Correct. And notable, the eels now can string out, which is good. Real good.
Yes,
Real, real good.
finally.
I think we're gonna see more and more eel lists as time goes on. I really do want not to get up there, but it looks like where they're at now, nothing will change for them. They were better with GV. Oh yeah, on the throws. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. They were. That's when they were prime. Everyone. That's when they were oppressive. Everyone was like, "Oh boy, going into another IDK list." Um,
Yeah.
Next up.
I won't play IDK until they have crab infantry.
Fair. Next up, this one's a shocker to me. I'm a little surprised on this.
Okay.
Lumineth Realm Lords at 48%.
Yeah, people can actually counter all their magic now.
Yeah, I mean, I guess Techless doesn't really get to benefit anymore from anything crazy.
Techless actually hurt quite a bit from this.
Yeah.
Because you can't modify a 10. It's still a 10, but now it's easier to get to that point to be able to get rid of it.
And I guess you can still primal miscast with your infantry as well. So, yeah.
As well as they got rid of the...
though? You would think they'd be like... I think
they got rid of the Techless Bomb. Because now you can actually unbind it through the portal.
Oh, that's true. That's a good point. Okay, yeah, okay. Then I can totally see it. You made it happen for me.
Because that was what the problem was before.
I think with only 17. What does that mean? What am I missing? How many games is this? This is through 21 GTs worldwide. This is from Warhammer data. So I think it's relatively accurate. There's a number next to their name, right? That's the number of players within those 21 GTs.
So it's like, players, not games.
Correct.
Yeah.
I think. Oh, no, it's number of players, yeah, in parentheses. It's number of players, not number of games. Number of players. 17 is low. Is it, though? I mean... Maybe,
17 players and 21 GTs.
Lumineth's not wildly popular. That's probably okay. I don't think that's crazy.
I would expect that to be higher, but I think everybody's moving to other things right now.
Well, when we have... Oh, we'll get there. Oh, my gosh. The oppressiveness of some of the player numbers on this. We'll get there. The number of death players right now is absolutely
ridiculous.
Absolutely obnoxious. All right, so next up. 48%, 20 players, and that is Heat Knights of Slanesh.
I could see it.
Yep, I think that's about where I put them, and I don't think they'll move up or down. I think they'll sit there for quite a bit. That's my thought.
Yeah, people have learned how to actually play against them. Yeah, people learn how to play against them.
Yep.
Like, they're not incredibly oppressive.
That being said, it's way better than they used to be. I'll say that.
Agreed.
So, and I really like that army still. I really need to get myself a Slanesh army. All right, moving on. 20 players, 49%. Beast of Chaos.
Yeah. Like.
Yeah.
I don't like the Beasts of Chaos. I need to fight more of them. I think that's what it is. It's just I don't see them as a big threat. I don't see them as like something tiny. They're very middle of the road. Like, they're things. If you can DPS check them, you win.
Yeah.
Like, they're very middle.
James, you cannot. At least I don't think there's any circumstance where you.
No. You decide rerolls before Private Loss.
Right. Yep. Which means rerolls will never come into place for the Prime.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, I think middle of the line. Yep. I think we're right there. So this one's interesting. Lots of players here. 53 players. This is the most we've had so far.
Okay.
Playing Blades of Corn at 49%.
They were fairly popular before this GHB, and then it's an anti-magic faction in a magic game. So I could see it being popular.
Popular, yes. I'm a little surprised that I would expect it more to be in like the 53 range, but I mean, maybe. I mean, 53 players is a lot, right? It's a lot of players. I think as we go, I think that they might jump up a little bit more as we get into an meta.
Oh yeah, definitely. They are like the anti-meta for this.
Correct.
They are the anti-magic army.
They did get nerfed with the murder lust a little bit, but I still think they are really good. I still think Blaze of Corn's in a really good spot right now.
They're not bad at all.
Next up, only 7 players. This is where I was saying, watch out for that. 7 players at 50%, right in the middle of the line. Crow Boys, which obviously there's a lot of margin of error here because seven players here, but
yeah, it's.
But their points keep going down, and they've got some shenanigans now. I think Gobsprack we're gonna see in every list.
Gobsprack makes them fairly.
Correct.
Fairly like playable right now, which we'll go ahead and see that in like every single big wall list will have Gobsprack.
Yep.
Or should have Gobsprack at least.
Crow Boys and Big Wah, there should always be a Gobsprack.
And their stuff is becoming so cheap to do right now. You could just throw in a crap ton of stuff.
Yep.
Like the Gnash Tooth. Do you remember how many points the Gnash Tooth used to be?
It's like, isn't it like 140 points now or something?
Like it is cheap right now.
And it does a lot of damage.
I want to look at what this was. Gnash Tooth. He is 120 points. And if I remember correctly, he used to be
20 points.
He used to be 200 points.
120 points. That dude is dishing out some damage.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
He's so good.
Oh my goodness. And James, I don't care about the plus to cast. In fact, if I'm rolling primal dice, I'm not using any of those dice for casting, because I'm going to use every single one of those dice to make sure I can unbind on their turn. Because all I want Gosprack to do is do damage to the wizards. That's it. That's all I want him for. I don't care if he gets
kill a small wizard. Kill a small wizard on their turn. I'm a-okay with that.
Correct. No, I think it's no. I don't want. Yeah, that's the other thing is I want to kill Gobsprack. All right, so Crow Boy. The only question I have with Crow Boy is right. Will this number of players go up quite a bit?
I hope so.
I do too. It's not looking great for them right now. They're still in a real bad spot, right? But
all they need to do is just make it so that their tactics aren't freaking their dirty tricks aren't random. That's the only thing I wish it wasn't.
City's gonna pull in new players. Yeah. I have my own mixed opinion. We'll have a Cities of Sigmar show, but I have my own mixed opinions on the Cities of Sigmar.
I think look. Cities is really good.
Yeah, I just don't like their look, but we'll get into that in a different show.
Agreed. I don't like their aesthetic.
Their aesthetic is real bad. People are loving
I should say
people love the aesthetic of Cities right now, and
I should rephrase. I like half of their aesthetic.
I just think it's so busy, and I don't know. I'm not a fan. But well, again, maybe it'll grow on me.
Yeah, I want to get it just because I don't want to paint them.
Fair. All right, so moving on. This one I expect to go down, and I'll give you my reasons why. But 19 players at 50%, right in the middle. Mag again, and I think they are definitely going to go down. And the reason I say that is there are so many ways now to shut off wards. Especially in a magic heavy meta right now. I think they will go down. I've played a couple games with them and they just don't, unless you're using super gimmicky lists, and I'm talking like Oops All Blightlords or Oops All Beasts of Nurgle. I just don't think they do a whole lot. So that's
Yeah.
that's my thought on Mannequin.
They're slow unless you do the flies, and
Yeah.
like they are middle of the road tank. Like they're what you'd expect to be tanky, but they're not like horridly tanky.
The only problem I have with the Rotbringer list, James, that you're talking about, the +3 to cast. Remember, it's only on one spell. You only get it on one. And um, with Primal Dice and miscasting, and they're really slow. I don't know if that. I haven't seen a. I'll have to double check, but I haven't seen any 5-0s with Rotbringer. Right? Like I just.
Yeah.
Oh,
I can
I
see
agree
it.
with that. I definitely agree with that. Blight Kings, I think, are way overpriced right now. They are just too slow.
How many points are they right now?
250.
Oh, that's way too much.
They are 10 points more expensive than a Blight Lord. So yeah,
Way too much.
I don't know. I don't know what's going on there, but yeah, they're too expensive. Trust me, I would love to play Blight Kings, but they're just too expensive right now. All right. This one you know quite a bit, Cameron. 51% Ogre Mod Tribes.
Yeah, I can see that.
39
like,
players.
They kind of have a magic game. Like, there's not that much magic, but like they can get some pluses to cast. And if they get their spells off, it's just that one stone, the Frost Lord on Stonehorn is just going to destroy everything. Like their big thing is that they can get to you really easily.
Well, yeah. Do you think people, as we get further into the GHB, do you think more people will use monster trucks, or will they go more like the what is it? Is it? I want to say. What is it? Like gluttons, meat fist, and all that stuff. I.e., not monster trucks.
You'll probably see a lot more of the gluttons and meat fists just because of the cohesion rules.
Oh, okay.
Now that those have changed, but as James says in chat, ogres have a lot of mechanics where they just don't care what your mechanics are.
I mean, isn't that the best way to play ogres, though?
Yeah, like they have ways to do mortal wounds in like every single phase.
Right.
And it's just I don't. You casted some magic. Oh man.
Well, ogres.
I charge you.
Will ogres go up or down or stay the same from 51%?
I think they'll stay the same. Like they're.
Okay.
Like they're a perfectly balanced area right now. They don't balance. They don't debalance. Their best spell is just fist as they run you over.
I remember a time when mod tribes were so oppressive, and now we've scooted them down.
I think that's the same sentiment that Gits had, where everybody sees them as
100%.
It happens with every single new book too. Is everybody sees them as incredibly oppressive, and then you learn how to actually play them.
Unless you're playing Soul Blight, and then you can just get out of here. All right, we're moving on. All right, KO 25 players at 52%. I think it's a little low. I'd expect it to be a little higher. I think their book is really good.
It is really good. They lost their Soul Scream Bridge, but that's about it.
Soul Scream Bridge and their not Engineers. They're
Thunderers.
Thunderers, yes, they're Thunderers.
Yeah, Thunderers went up points.
Which is definitely a problem, right?
Oh yeah, but it's like, oh no, I lose one of my tiny gun haulers that didn't do too much anyways, and I still blow you off the board.
Yep.
Every single shooting phase.
Cameron, are you messing with your mic?
I might be, yeah.
Okay, it's definitely coming through. Night Hunt. Only 12 players here. Only 12 players at 53%.
That's
I'm surprised a little bit on that. A little bit.
Yeah, they don't play with the magic that often. I wonder what their lists are.
I'll have to take a look. I know Black Coach is back in. I know it's
really
a hot item right now. Yeah. Losing GB hurt them a lot. Yes, agreed. Blade guys only get one rank now.
Yeah, because that's what I thought. I would expect without GVs that they would have gone down a bit.
I know black coaches from some of the lists I've seen. Black coaches and believe it or not, chain rats are like.
I can see that. Like I still don't understand the sentiment of black coaches are bad. Like being able to do random shots of 3D 3 mortal wounds to
Pretty good.
things
It's
is
pretty good. It's pretty good.
pretty good,
And
especially with like a 4-up board and all that. Like,
with a lot of the horde armies now, you're getting those shots off a lot easier now because you can kill
yeah,
more models.
it's so easy to be able to get all these shots off.
Now that being said, I expect them to probably drop a little bit. I think 53 is a little high, as well as the margin of error they have here is pretty high too. So I expect that to drop probably a little bit.
I agree. Like
53 is I think high. Like Nighthawk's winning more than Ogre Mod Tribes or KO. Like I don't know about
that's
that.
fair. I don't see that.
All right, this is the one that James baby here. Disciples of Zinch, 53%. 26 players. I think this is right in line. I don't.
I could see that they should be a high one, and like I don't know. Like I would expect them to be really good in this, but they made very well sure about the
Make sure
primal
making
dice.
sure modified versus unmodified. They
Yeah,
cleared
like
up a lot
primal
of the
dice
points for that.
made it very very balanced
Correct.
because you can't use your fate dice with primal dice.
I played a Zinch army against Jed, and I was playing Magican, so I didn't have a whole lot of damage, right? And he was losing, like he kept summoning in stuff, but he just kept losing stuff a lot. He just couldn't. There's not a lot of units that he had on the board to begin with, right? So you could easily start chewing down through stuff before he could get through it. And I still think there's good. Like I want to play a Zinch army with Big Wall. Like just please let me do that.
That's fair.
Let me play Gobsprak.
It will reward a lot to be anti-magic, and there's a lot more ways to be able to cancel out like the Zinch spellcasting now with the primal dice, especially if they use their fate dice.
Yeah. James, I agree. I think you're right. Some of the battle plans, like the battle plan that we played, right, was the wizard exploding one, and like he just was losing stuff left and right to the explosions. So
Yeah,
I
can see
do
that
agree
happening.
with you. I wish I knew or I had stats on what battle plans were taken for these GTs, but I don't have that. So it would be nice to see what people are using though.
Hmm.
All right.
I could see them not being incredibly oppressive, but still being very good.
Yeah, I still think they're good. I think they might move up a percentage or two. I think they'll be right there. Next is Big Wah at 14 players, and this is what me and Cameron have jumped into because I think they're good. I think they're really good.
I got into mine as a joke, and then I started loving it, and so
I mean,
yeah,
my biggest reason for using it, we keep saying his name, Gobsprak. He's just so good, man.
Cosmic is so good. He's so cheap for what he does.
I played Colt with his Slave to Darkness Vanguard list, and he struggled. He struggled so much with trying to figure out how to deal with Gobsprak because he couldn't cast anything with his wizards. Now he doesn't really care because he's got so much movement, but it really kind of put him on the edge there, trying to figure out how to deal with Gobsprak because he was obnoxious. So
Yeah, he's so good in this GHB.
he's so good in this GHB. Finally, he has a place.
Yeah, and it's not even in his own army.
Yeah. Yeah, but so pretty good. James, I don't think you were here earlier, but I'm gonna do a very meme big wall list and test it. But we'll just say it has Kragnos and Gobsprak, and it may or may not have an incarnate in it. It's just obnoxious. I just want to try it just to see. I don't think it's gonna be very good, but it'll be a riot. I'll say that. It'll be fun. So yeah, I think. Do you think the Bitwa lists? Do you think these will go up from 53% or down?
It's been like this at all times. Big Wall is an incredibly high level army, I guess would be the word for it. Like people who don't know what to do with Big Wall will struggle very intensely. But those who know how to strategize well with Big Wall will be very successful with it.
Gosh. I gotta say, one of the worst matches I've ever played in my life was because of a Wargog Prophet. And I'm not gonna lie to you, when I was on the other end of it, doing it to Varangard, to a 6-pack of Varangard, and just removing them and taking 1 damage for it for
You were having the best time of your life?
I literally loved every minute of it. I mean, I felt bad because, like, poor Colt, like, I just removed his entire... And he didn't get a forward ward because I nasty hexed with Gobsprax, so I didn't get the ward. So, like, I just melted the Varangard with 1 Wargog Prophet that took 1 damage. And I was just like, how is this little doofus, 170-point doofus, able to remove things like this? It's just crazy.
Because he's amazing.
It was hilarious.
And he's the only thing Bone Splitters have. Leave him alone.
It was a blast. It was fun. Granted, it's not a great thing to play against, but it was a blast. I mean, he also brought 12 Varangard and 10 horses, so like, get out of here.
Yeah, it's the perfect. Yeah, go ahead and Alpha Strike me.
Yeah.
We'll see who comes out. We'll see who comes out the end of this.
I almost pulled it back too. I almost he killed a lot of stuff. I almost pulled it back, but he ended up winning. All right. So next up, Flesh Eaters. Now this one's interesting. 16 players at 53%. Right now they are really good.
It's because the problem with Flesh Eaters is that they rely so heavily on their spells, and you know what? You can do a lot easier now. Get your spells off.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing more terrifying than a fully buffed Terrorgeist.
Yep. I mean, you know.
Yeah, I've done a tournament where I averaged like 100 to 200 damage with just the Terrorgeist.
Yep.
It's horrifying.
You went to that RTT and that Terrorgeist just ran through armies. It was just like no joke.
Yep, he was just a one-man destroyer.
Yeah, just crazy. Now, new book comes out. They lose their rerolls. That probably goes down a little bit. I don't know what their spells are going to look like, but
I am very, very interested in what their new book would be, because already from the way that they're changing things, it's going to be very different from what it is now.
Yeah. Okay. So moving on. So this next one we really can't take just a grain of salt here because only 3 players, and this is Bone Splitters at 53%. The reason that this has got to be so high, it's got to be like 3 players that have used Bone Splitters just nonstop. They know that thing. It's probably a bunch of Stabas or something. They just know the list very, very well, and they're pushing that number up because I don't think they're.
Let's see, 3 Wurzog Prophets, 5 big Stabas.
James, exactly. It should be called "How many Wargog Prophets can you fit in a list?"
And then we'll go with the rest are just shooters.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just your opponent will go up to you and be like, "Wow, I've never fought this army before." They go over, they attack, they destroy like 3 big Stabas, and half their army gets annihilated.
Yes, great. Welcome to the Bone Splitters MO.
Yep.
All right, so we'll move on from them. Next one, 52 players. Seraphon at 55%. Not shocking here. Yeah, I think
they're really good.
I mean, I know they got nerfed. They got some of their stuff nerfed. Like, I know you can only cast 1 spell through the Trog, but even then, like,
1 spell through the Trog per Son.
They've got so many mortal wounds that they just dish out. Like, it's just
the super nuke isn't available, but you still have so many other things you can do.
You don't get an atomic bomb. You just get a bunch of little tiny TNTs everywhere.
Yeah.
And it's
Coalesced is so good.
Yeah.
Like, I'm terrified of fighting a Coalesced army.
Coalesced is that's the dinos, right?
Yeah.
I don't think. I want to see.
It's -1 damage is what their thing is.
All right, hold on. I'm gonna check.
Isn't that like one of their big sub faction is just -1 damage to Sauruses and monsters?
Okay, so I'm looking out of the 52 players.
Okay.
The sub faction that is used the most is Fangs Zodiac.
That's Starborn, right?
Yep, that's the bombs.
Okay. Yeah,
So
I can
I
see it.
mean, I guess that's
I still
probably
say, I still
that's
say the
yeah.
the Coalesce is scary.
Yeah, Coalesce is still probably scary. I There's some things I don't like about the Coalesce book. Like there's a lot of combo type things that have to happen. I'm not a fan
Yeah,
of that stuff. I don't like it.
that's fair.
But like,
The
I
scary thing right now is the ridiculous casting and summoning of the Fangs of Sotek.
it's just gonna be so oppressive to play. I have not played against a new Seraphon army yet, but I really don't want to. Not looking forward to that.
Agreed.
All right, this one's the big shocker right here. This one I find the most shocking. And now, granted, it's only 13 players, right? Only 13, so it's not a huge number here. There's a lot of margin of error here. But Daughters of Cain at 55%.
So you want to know what it is? Is they can actually get that really, really hard spellcast off now.
Are we talking just Mind Razor? Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, like Mind Razor. Mind Razor's the big one. Like they can
I
actually
mean,
get it off now.
are Daughters back in the mix now?
Um, it increased Ren to your entire unit and increased damage to the entire unit.
Yeah.
The only thing keeping them back was it was an 8 cast and they had like no pluses.
Yeah. Maybe. Yeah. All right. We'll see. We will see if Daughters of Cain gets any better. I don't think so. I think they're gonna drop.
I don't think they'll get better either. But
Where do you think they'll like in 6 months' time? Where do you think Daughters of Cain will land? Like what?
if they don't get
49,
anything
50%?
new, if they don't get anything new, I see them at like 50.
Okay. Okay. Middle of the
Like
pack. I can see it.
like they're not bad,
Yep.
not at
They
all.
just have dropped so much, and now it's weird seeing them back up on the top. I think it's just weird to me. All right, the last three. Are you ready for the last three? These are the ones that are oppressive. Well, two of them are. So the next one at 56%. So it's just out of where they want to be, right? You want it to be between 45 and 55. Sons of Behemoth, which I think are going to be really, really good.
Yeah.
I see them staying there definitely.
Yeah, why is that?
They've got a lot more tools with Regiments of Renown now.
Okay, yeah.
So
Only because of Regiment of Renown
yes,
do I think that they're amazing.
correct. I agree with you. I agree with you.
If they did not have Regiments of Renown, I would find them a
'Cause-
very, very.
Because
I
now,
would see them. I would see them losing quite badly.
because now you can get a bunch of giants on a point and shoot from the back line and just be like, okay, have fun.
Yep.
Like that seems pretty crazy to me. Like,
Just the Cruel Boy Regiment on its own, like,
yeah,
and like, what is the other one? Gits.
yeah.
Really, really mobile Gits that can do a lot of damage.
Well, and you can get your giants to run in charge now. Like, pretty good.
Yeah,
It's pretty
like
good.
they're really good.
Yeah, I definitely those regiments of renown definitely spiked those suns. I think the question for anyone playing against Suns is: did you take a wizard who can cast Blizzard?
Yeah. Being able just to do that sudden 4d6 damage to him.
True, but there's also since they don't have any wizards, they have those nullstone things, right? So
Yeah.
there's ways to prevent it. But you are right. The 46 mortals is rough for sure. All right, the last two. No surprise on either one of these. OBR was 61 players at 58%, which is just insane.
I think the only thing getting them up there is
Catacross. Catacross and Archon. I
it's
think
Catacross.
those are the two the most oppressive ones.
Yeah, it's Catacross, Archon, and it's the guards. I looked at a few of the top winning lists, Rosiarks, and it's those guards.
Yeah, the guards are.
Everyone uses them.
But I still think as much as I love Catacross, he is a problem right now. He has way too much utility. way too much heat.
Yes, he does.
I
Holy
mean,
cow, this is so good.
it's insane what that dude brings to the army. It's incredible. Playing competitive right now is can your army beat death? I mean, you're not wrong. You're absolutely not wrong.
Because you had to look at all three of the top lists. You know what every single one of those are is a DPS check.
It is. Well,
Except OCRX.
Yeah, OBR's
OCRX
not.
is
It's just
can you get through the saves?
correct. Can you get through the saves? Exactly.
But Soul Blight and
Can you get
Sun
through the
is a
saves?
DPS
Can
check.
you prevent my dudes from uh, recurring and coming back? Right. OBR's just so impressive right now. And then the worst offender, the worst oppressive army in the game, has a DPS check with 65 players. Everyone plays them. Soulblight Gravelords. It's a problem. And I told you, Cameron, I told you they were going to be a problem.
Because it's just the freaking Sons of Behemoth are 35 wounds for what, 400, 500 points. I can get 40 wounds for what, 260?
And then they come back.
Oh, and also if you kill them, you take damage, and also they come back.
Like it's pretty bad right now. I don't even know how you fix Soulblight because it's not a points issue. Because it's
I think it is.
you're just gonna keep pointing those things out.
To a certain extent, like zombies are so cheap still. Like you can get so many wounds for so cheap.
Dogs.
And all of those wounds are 1.5.
Dogs are crazy. Skellies are crazy right now. It is points per wound. I think that's a
yeah. Because let's see.
I think you need to look at about it differently though. It's not on their war scroll. It's the fact that they can.
I think it's definitely on their war scroll.
I think it's.
You want to know why are pinks so good? Why are pink horrors so good?
They multiply, but they don't come back.
Yeah, because it is 2 wounds.
That's a good.
2 wounds for every 10 points.
I see where you're coming from. If you that's a really good example. If you were to take 10 pinks at 260 is what their points are right now. 260.
Yeah.
They don't recur. So once you kill all 50 of them, they're gone. If you compare
so
that
for
to
260,
zombies,
so 260 points for 50 wounds. Now for 240 points, I can get 40 wounds that also heal and also come back. So that's effectively 60 wounds.
Yes, and they also explode. So they actually do both the things that pinks could do.
Yeah, so for 240 points, I have 60 wounds potentially.
Yeah. I guess. Yeah. I guess you just keep bumping them. It's gonna get crazy to where you have zombies at such a high point value. When you look at their war scroll, they're gonna be garbage.
I think they should be 140 minimum.
Minimum. I definitely think they need to be higher than that.
Like, it's mostly just all of their battle line choices, I'd say.
They're so cheap.
Need to go. Yeah.
They're so cheap.
You just throw so many, like, pinks. How much do they do damage? No, not really. They can throw some damage out there, just like zombies can.
It's like when I play against Soulblight, I want to leave like 2 zombies. It's like I don't want to kill them all because I don't want them to come back. Even though they'll come back anyway, but yeah, that's super oppressive. Soulblight needs to be figured out. Like, there's still a problem, and everyone knows it, and they're all using it. So, all right. So we'll go into the next slide here, which is what I was looking at earlier. It goes. So the first table, the one on the left hand side here, is factions that have less than 20 results, right? So these are all like the ones that have a lot of players, right? And you'll see just kind of where that table sits, right? We've kind of talked about all of them. And then And then table 2 is all the sub factions from the upper and lower. It's not all of them, but it's a subset of them. Yeah, obviously, OBR's running Null Myriad, not surprising. Seraphon, we talked about it, is running the Trog Bomb, basically.
Yep.
Soulblight. I mean, obviously it's Virkos. Virkos.
It's
When you hear
it's the
Virkos, it's DPS check.
yeah, it's 20 more wounds and also a 5-up ward, which is just effectively more wounds.
Um, Blades of Corn. So everyone's going the Reapers of Vengeance. So I think Reapers of Vengeance. That's the. Is that the? Is that the Bloodthirster stuff? Is that the Bloodthirster sub faction or the Demon one?
I don't know the.
Is that the? I can't remember if it's the Bloodthirster or if it's the Bloodletter one. James, you probably would know. Soulblight, again, 53% for Legion of Blood. So those are the two big offenders. But obviously, Virgos is the DPS check. I wonder if they just were to get rid of Virgos, if like that would tone so many of the list out. Because Legion of Blood's still good.
Probably. Yeah, like all of the other legions are good except for the
Legion
muster
of
one.
Knight's great, right?
Yeah.
Jet played
Legion
that
Knight's-
and he wrecked me. That thing is crazy good.
Mhm.
I'd be curious to see what would happen if you just removed Virgos off the planet.
I would be sad.
I know
but
you'd be sad. I know you would be.
I like Virkos.
Most
It is very oppressive.
Yes. Most use Stormcast one is Hammers of Sigmar. And Skaven is obviously just Skaven. I don't even know why they had that in here. But alright. So that's faction one, right?
What sub faction of Skaven are you playing?
Uh,
The only one.
Yeah, the only one. Alright, so this one is Cumulative Wins. It might be kind of hard to read. I can probably blow it up for this.
Let's see. Yeah, bone splitters are just unnaturally high.
Because there's only 3 of them, right? So
yeah,
you
there's only 3 people.
So what you're looking at here is the blue is 3+ wins. The orange is 4+ wins. And then the little gray is 5+ wins. Gosh, look at Daughters of Cain. That's crazy to me.
So it looks like the bone splitters are. So one of the things is this just 5? Is this just 5 game?
5 game GTs. Yep, 21
Okay.
5 game GTs. Yeah, Suns with no 5-0s. Bone splitters, they get their 3 wins, but then they can't go any further than that. The Daughters of Cain is just crazy to me. Look at those 5+ wins. That's so high to me. KO no 5-0 wins.
You know what it probably is? It's also probably Marathi, because you could still, no matter what you do, only do 3 wounds.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. KO, which, if you think about it, is actually probably pretty accurate. Like, they can get to that 4-up wins, but they've got, KO is one of those rock, paper, scissors army, right? Like, you're probably going to
if you can get rid of them, then you win.
Yeah. Big Wa is kind of up there. They got some 5-0 wins, which is pretty cool. What else is in here? Gloomspite, no 5-0 wins. Not very many 4-0 wins either.
I'm surprised by how many 5-0 Maggot can have.
What? Oh, Maggot
Look at
can? Oh, yeah,
look at Maggot can.
It's no, actually no. It's the Bloodlords. Every single 5-0 list that I see for Magakin is just straight up Blightlords.
Yeah, that's fair. It is Blightlords.
It's straight Blightlords, and it's like I was looking at because my Magakin army's painted now, and I really want to play Magakin, but every list I see is just Blightlords, and I'm like, I don't want to play spam Blightlords. I just don't want to do it.
Bring down the points of those of the Blight Kings.
But yeah, if they would do that, they really should do that. They are not oppressive right now. Those Blight Kings, no one's using them. Bring those things down. Let me play Glotkin and some Vikings, and let me just have fun. Anything else? Stormcast is in a rough spot.
Stormcast just needs a rework again.
They do, which is sad.
Zombies do their mechanic like 6 times better than they do.
The other issue with Stormcast too is they've got too many units. They have way too many units. So when you're a player and you're trying to put together a list,
they have way too many units, and 90% of those units
are
below mid.
Yes, maybe not 90%. A lot of them are not great. Anything else in here? Look at the number of 4-0 wins for Slanesh. That's pretty good. Yeah, I mean, nothing too crazy here. A lot of 4-0 wins with OBR. Couple 5-0s with Seraphon. Nothing too crazy. No 5-0s for Nighthaunt. Not surprising. Who's playing Nurgle 5?
I have no idea.
It's Blightlords, man. It's Blightlords. I'll bring out some lists for 5-0s for GTs, and they're just Blightlords. It's disgusting.
Agreed.
All right. That's it. That's all we had. Again, it's not as crazy as I did last time for as far as data, right? It's not as crazy as we did last time for data. With the Honest Wargamer stats, because with Honest Wargamer you get a lot more detail. And I'm not saying like everyone's got their opinions on Bowhammer versus Games Workshop versus Honest Wargamer, but right now I just I'm trying to get a decent idea, and at least with Honest Wargamer stats, I get a lot more in-depth stuff. I get to figure out what battle plans are being played, all that. So, but for now, this will hopefully give people an idea of what is going on with the meta and how you can, maybe counter some of that, right? And it'll be interesting to see how this changes in 6 months, right? So we'll take another look at this when we get to like mid-season and see where we're at. Because we got a whole year of this, baby. Whole year.
Whole year. Can't wait for it.
Hopefully, so what's coming up next week? Hopefully next week, I'm hoping that I can get Jason from Monument Hobbies and do an interview on here. So before the GT, because he is also helping sponsor that too. So it'd be nice to get him on the show before the GT. So hopefully we can get that. Yeah, hopefully we can get that next week. Jason's a longtime friend, even before Monument Hobbies. So it'd be cool to get him on here. So other than that, we're getting closer and closer to the GT. So we'll probably have a couple more shows maybe aligned towards that. But the other thing too is if you guys are watching this on YouTube or whatnot, or even here, we're thinking about doing some more gaming streams, not just like actual like PC games. Baldur's Gate's out right now, which is going crazy. Total War.
Baldur's Gate, Total War.
Yeah.
We might be starting that. I might start doing that with people on next week.
Yeah,
is the plan.
So if we can get that going, let me know what you guys think. What's your guys' thoughts? I know a lot of people come here for the AOS content, but this is a house of hobbies, and guess what? PC gaming is also a hobby. So I'd be interested to see what people think on the video game streams. So we'll try it out and see how it goes, see where we're at, and go from there. If you guys want to see a specific gameplay, throw it down in the comments or whatnot, and we'll take a look at it. Other than that, Cameron, you got anything else?
No, we talked about it.
All right.
We going to be doing some gaming streams, most likely. Yep.
Hopefully we can get some multiple people. I have multiple. We can do up to 4 people on here too. So that should be fun. So we'll see how it goes.
Awesome.
On that note, I will talk to you guys later. Have a good rest of the week, and we will see you next Tuesday.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.